I'm here with Benjamin Lamb, Head of Equities at Colonial First State. Ben, thanks for speaking at the Equities and Growth Asset Symposium. The tagline for the event is Sailing Through the Headwinds. In your opinion, how should advisors try to achieve this?
I think advisors need to be very clear about their investment strategy. Of note, they need to start from the first principles of what they consider their investment objectives and their investment beliefs. Does their investment process allow them to be flexible and make opportunistic investments, or are they really focused around the strategic asset allocation piece? If you are flexible and can accommodate opportunistic investments, I think the important aspect is to have a robust and thoughtful decision-making process, not only in terms of making the decisions, but also reviewing and assessing those decisions.
Yeah, indeed.
And then when you're thinking through your strategic asset allocation piece is just to really think about your rebalancing approach. Am I rebalancing frequently enough? Of note, small companies in recent periods have really underperformed their large cap counterparts. If you haven't rebalanced recently, then you're potentially materially underweight relative to your strategic asset allocation, and that could be potential headwinds should there be a rebound in small companies.
A timely reminder. Now, your work involves many areas, but of course, due diligence is a big part of that, due diligence on investments. Can you walk me through that process?
Yeah, so I think it's really critical. So I think most people, when they think about due diligence, is really at the time of appointment of a manager or strategy. But what I think is just as important is the ongoing due diligence. And as part of the process at Colonial First State, we meet with our incumbent managers on at least a quarterly basis, if not more frequently as warranted. What we're really trying to do there is to assess, are our managers, have there been any material changes within our managers to business, people or process? But at the same time, really ensure that we retain confidence and conviction in their ability to deliver returns going forward.
And many think of research as both an art and a science. How do you go about blending those two?
I think that's a very important question to think through because for me, you can't have one without the other. If it was all science, there would just be a repeatable process. You're looking at data and constantly assessing the same information as everyone else. But where the science or where the art does come in is how do you use that information and the data you're assessing, but also utilizing the experiences that you have. So as an example, a common thing you'd see if you're just focusing on the science is tracking error and how risky a strategy is relative to benchmark. In a period of low market volatility, tracking errors can be deceptive and appear low, even for strategies that are very benchmark agnostic and taking a lot of risk. You need to dig a bit deeper, and knowing when you need to dig a bit deeper, I guess, is part of the art.
Very good. Now, you look for managers, for messages an asset manager is conveying, even if unintentionally. How did you develop this approach, and how can advisors adopt a few essential components in their work?
I think it's part of the due diligence process that I've developed this approach is when we do a post-mortem and look at why a manager's underperformed, the data will tell you some of the reasons and some of the stock selection or portfolio construction and some of the more scientific aspects. But I think ultimately what I found is when managers have struggled and underperformed, there are often underlying qualitative or art reasons, whether it's a deterioration in culture, some aspects of turnover and cultural shift within an organization, and discontent.
Can you tell me what you think would be the biggest surprise to markets in 2024, Ben?
I think there can still remain a lot of different areas that can surprise. So of note, there's still a lot of macro areas that could surprise, whether that's economic growth, unemployment, where interest rates are going. A central tenet of what we're thinking at CFS is there will continue to be inflation volatility. But one area that is well known but I still think has the potential to surprise is AI, or artificial intelligence. And I really love this quote recently that I've heard around AI. It's really around AI adoption is both overhyped and underappreciated. And that really resonates with me because there is a lot of time, money, and resources being dedicated to this space. And when that happens, the potential for innovation and surprise is really likely to come through. And I think watch this space. What will come out will definitely be fascinating.
Benjamin Lamb, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.